Now that you have worked with your dog in stationary positions and have some duration, movement, and distance, as well as using your release word to release from the sit and down positions, your dog should understand the concept of staying in position, and you can now add your stay cue. One thing to remember when teaching a solid stay is that you will never call your dog to you when you have cued them with an actual stay cue. The dog should know that when cued to stay, their only job is to remain in this position until you return to them and release them. If you call them out of their stay, they will begin to anticipate getting up out of that position to go to you. Here are a few more things to keep in mind when training the stay. When you ask your dog to stay, keep any rewards out of your hands. It may tempt them to move out of position. Say stay only once. If your dog is content with staying, there is no reason to continually tell them to stay. If you see your dog getting antsy, you can support them with a reminder. Release your dog before they release themselves. Don't try to push your dog too far at first. Maintain the stay by returning to your dog, rewarding, and stepping away again. Reward in the stay position, not once you have released. We want the stay position to be valuable. When you are ready to release them, go back to them and give your release word.
Stay. Girl. Good puppy. Stay. Proceed. Stay, please. Stay. Good girl, puppy. Good puppy. Good puppy. Stay. Down. Good girl. Stay. Good. Good puppy. Free. Yeah. Stay. Stay. Free.
Once your dog is comfortable with staying with movement, you can begin to add more difficult distractions. You will have to be the judge of what your dog is ready for. If your dog is crazy about balls, it may not be a good idea to bounce a ball in the early stages of distraction training. Allow your dog to be successful.
Sit. Stay. Good girl. Good girl. Yes, that's very good. Free. Get it. Good girl. Down. Stay.
One final note on our training for the stay command is you should keep your dog strong in the stay position when they are cued to sit or to down. In those instances, you can call your dog out of those positions if you have not asked for the stay. Stay means stay, until you return to your dog and release. If your dog happens to break the stay, just calmly put them back in the place they were originally in and take a second or two off your requested amount of time. Remember the 3 D's: duration, distance, distraction. The next step in our training is the training of directionals. These will become important when you are working with your dog in scent detection as you search a room or a roadway. One way to train directionals is by playing the head snap game. The head snap game begins with your dog on either your right or left side, and you place a treat in your hand next to their shoulder. The dog will immediately turn to that side and want to get at that treat. Let them lick your hand, but do not let them have the treat. Wait until they start to look forward. As soon as they turn away, say your verbal cue, either right or left, depending on which side your dog is on, and when they snap their head back in that direction, mark and reward.
Left. Good girl. Good puppy. Good puppy. Left. Left. Good. Good puppy. Left.
The next step in the game is once your dog is snapping their head consistently to the right and to the left with your verbal cue, you will want to fade out the treat at their shoulder and get a response with no treat in your hand. Tap, mark, cue, praise. Remember to never stop rewarding altogether. Make it random. This will keep your dog engaged. The final step in this game is to just say your verbal cue, either right or left, and your dog moves in that direction. You will also want to add movement over time. Another game you can play to train directionals is called the tap and toss game. For this game, you will want to find a chair and sit down with your dog between your legs. If your dog is not comfortable being between your legs, you will need to work with them and reward them for being in this position. Once they are comfortable with being between your legs with their hind end closest to you and their head out front, you will begin. Remember, when setting up your dog, reward them for coming between your legs as well as looking forward before you start. Once you are ready, place the treat either in your left or right hand and gently tap the treat on that side of your dog. When their head moves in that direction, you throw the treat away from you in that same direction, allowing your dog to go get the treat. You will add your verbal cue for left and right after your dog is consistently moving their head to the side that your hand is tapping and throwing the treat. You will want to say the cue as soon as they begin to head in the desired direction.
Left. Right.
The final step in this training is to not have to tap their side any longer and be able to say the verbal cue only. Also, remember to only say your cue once. We want to prove that your dog understands the verbal cue once they have established a strong, consistent behavior.
Left. Left. Right. Yes.
The final command we will be training in 360 Boot Camp is the drop it command. The command is useful when playing with your dog and you want them to release a toy. But more importantly, when doing patrol training, you are going to want to have a strong release command when doing bite work. The first way to train this behavior is by simply playing tug with your dog. When you are wanting to stop the game and for them to drop it, you simply stop playing tug with them. When they drop the tug toy, you immediately use your verbal marker. Then after a few seconds of no play, you can begin tugging again with your dog as the reward. You will want to repeat this game often and make it super fun. You should add your verbal cue when your dog is consistently dropping the tug toy out of their mouth when you stop play. Make sure that when you add your cue that you say the cue of your choosing, such as drop it or release, right at the moment they drop the toy. Again, practice this skill often and make it a game that you and your dog enjoy. Another way that you can train this command is by trading out the toy for a treat. Again, play tug with your dog, and when you want to stop play, simply place a high-value treat to your dog's nose. The dog should want to stop tugging and go for the treat. When they do this, use your verbal marker and let them eat the treat as their reward. This game is especially helpful if you have a dog that is very food-driven. The final step is to add that verbal cue. You will want to add the cue when your dog is consistently stopping the tugging and immediately going for the treat. You will want to say your verbal cue right at the moment they are dropping the tug toy. Remember, mark, cue, reward. If your dog really enjoys the game of tug and needs a little more reinforcement, you can also grab their collar along with your verbal cue to end the play. Remember to always reward the desired behavior. We have covered a lot in our time together in 360 Boot Camp. You have learned skills and commands that have built a strong foundation and provided building blocks that will help you to be successful in your future training. This opportunity has also helped you build a strong and lasting bond with your canine so that you trust each other and can accomplish the task together as a strong team. Remember, if you need additional help or support, please contact us today. We want you and your dog to succeed and be a strong team. Hi, this is Jill Powell, co-founder of Remnant Canine 360, and we're glad that you're here and you're ready to learn some more fun dog facts. Did you know that dogs are direct descendants of wolves? Puppies are blind, deaf, and toothless when born. Dogs can be trained to detect cancer and other diseases in humans. A dog's whiskers are used as sensing devices. Your pup reaches his or her full size between 12 and 24 months. A dog's average body temperature is 101.2 degrees. Many foot disorders in dogs are caused by long toenails. Dogs are mentioned in the Bible more than 35 times, and obesity is the top health problem among dogs. The Border Collie, Poodle, and Golden Retriever are considered the world's smartest dog breeds. We hope you've enjoyed your dog fun facts for today. And until next time, we hope that you and your dog are building a great relationship.